The kitchen clock reads 11:42 p.m. when I finally collapse into my chair. 12 hours on my feet at the clinic, and my body protests with each movement. The house sits too quiet for having another person living here, but Brooke's been out more than she's been home lately. I kick off my sensible flats and stretch my toes against the cool tile. My phone pings, the sound sharp in the stillness. Aunt Valerie's name lights up the screen. Check this out. Thought you should see it. Call me. V. A video attachment loads beneath her message. My stomach tightens. Aunt Valerie doesn't send videos, especially not this late. My thumb hovers over the play button. Something warns me to wait, to put the phone down, and tackle whatever this is tomorrow with a fresh mind. But that same something propels my finger forward. Brooke's laugh hits me first, that musical sound I've known all my life. The camera focuses on her lounging on Dad's leather sofa, margarita in hand, her hair swept into a careless updo that probably took half an hour to perfect. Dad's living room hasn't changed in 15 years, same Southwestern art Mom picked out. Same worn carpet Brooke and I once spilled cherry Kool-Aid on during a forbidden indoor water gun fight. I swear it's the perfect setup, Brooke says, her voice slightly slurred. Ice clinks against her glass. Camille's too soft to ever kick me out. I make almost $80K a year. Why pay rent when I get to live for free? The glass freezes halfway to my lips. My reflection stares back from the darkened kitchen window, eyes wide, mouth slightly open. Mason's voice from off camera. And she never asks for anything? God, no. Brooke rolls her eyes. She thinks I'm still getting back on my feet. Meanwhile, I'm getting a promotion next month. Dad chuckles from his recliner. You always did know how to work the system, Brookie. My father, laughing. I play the video again. Then, a third time. Each viewing carves the words deeper. I make almost $80K a year. Why pay rent when I get to live for free? The rainy April night 2.5 years ago crashes back into memory. Brooke's voice breaking over the phone. I have nowhere to go, Cam, please. Lightning had illuminated the spare bedroom as I changed the sheets, fluffed the pillows, cleared out space in the closet. My sister needed me. What else was there to do? It's just until I find my footing again, she'd promised, mascara-stained tears tracking down her face as she'd hugged me that night. 3 months, tops. 3 months stretched to 6, then a year, then 2. Meanwhile, I noticed the designer bags appearing in her closet. The weekend trips she'd casually mention. The new car she somehow managed to afford 6 months ago, while still claiming she couldn't contribute to household expenses. I place my phone face down on the table with steady hands. The calm surprises me. Shouldn't I be screaming, throwing things? Instead, a strange clarity washes over me. In the microwave door's reflection, I catch sight of myself, hair escaping its ponytail, dark circles under my eyes. You're not a fool, I whisper to my reflection. You're kind. There's a difference. But kindness has its limits. My first instinct urges immediate confrontation. Storm into her room when she gets home. Play the video. Demand answers. But Mom's voice echoes in my memory. Dignity before anger, always. Mom would have handled this with grace. With a plan. I pick up my phone and type a response to Aunt Valerie. Thanks. Please don't say anything. I'll handle it. 4 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Like the meditation app that's supposed to help me sleep. With each exhale, pieces of a plan form in my mind. Morning comes too quickly. I've slept maybe 3 hours, but adrenaline keeps me upright as I measure coffee grounds into the filter. The familiar routine grounds me while my mind races ahead. The floorboards creak in the hallway. Brooke emerges, wrapped in the silk robe I gave her last Christmas. Her hair is piled messily atop her head, yesterday's makeup smudged under her eyes. Morning, she mumbles, making a beeline for the coffee. I pour a cup and slide it toward her, my voice casual. Got any plans for next month? She shrugs, stirring in cream. Not really. Why? Just wondering. I take a slow sip, watching her over the rim of my mug. Rent will be $950 starting next month. Brooke laughs, that same musical sound from the video. but it doesn't warm me anymore. Good one, Cam. She shakes her head and slides onto a bar stool. Like you'd ever charge your baby sister rent. I don't correct her. Not yet. The seeds are planted. She'll learn soon enough that this time, I mean every word. You're not serious about the rent thing, right? Brooke leans against the kitchen counter the next morning, coffee mug suspended halfway to her lips. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes. I rinse my breakfast bowl, keeping my movements deliberate. Dead serious. $950 due on the first of each month. She studies me for a moment, smile fading as she realizes I'm not backing down. Come on, Cam. After everything I've been through, you know how hard it's been. For 2.5 years? I keep my voice level, focusing on drying the bowl with slow circular motions. Her eyes narrow, smile vanishing completely. You don't even need the money. Your mortgage is practically nothing on this old house. The echo of her voice from the video flashes through my mind. I make almost $80K a year while I pay rent when I get to live for free. It's not about the money, Brooke. I meet her gaze directly. It's about fairness and respect. She snatches her purse from the counter and slams the door on her way out. After confirming Brooke's car is gone, I head to my home office. The desk drawer slides open with a familiar squeak. Inside sit neatly labeled folders: mortgage, car insurance, medical, utilities. I pull the utilities folder, spreading its contents across the desktop. Each statement tells a story, a steady climb beginning 29 months ago. The electric bill that once hovered around $100 now regularly exceeds $250. Water usage that tripled overnight. The internet package upgraded to accommodate work meetings that somehow requires the premium cable sports package. A lone sheet of paper in the printer tray catches my eye. I almost miss at the corner, just barely visible. When I pull it free, my stomach tightens. First National Bank, account statement, Brooke Bennett. I shouldn't look. This is private. But then I remember my face reflected in the dark kitchen window last night. The shock of hearing my sister's true thoughts. The numbers leap from the page. Regular deposits, $6,500 monthly. Current balance, $41,237.84. My hands tremble slightly as I open my laptop. A quick search for Brooke's employment and salary range brings up employment sites and reviews. Marketing manager at TechStart Solutions. Average salary $78,000, $85,000 annually. I close the browser and reach for my phone. Family situations are always the hardest. Maria slides the coffee shop's door closed behind us, choosing a corner table away from other customers. Her property management badge gleams against her navy blazer. I feel ridiculous even asking about this. I admit, clutching my tea with both hands. Maria shakes her head, already pulling forms from her leather portfolio. Don't. I've seen siblings, parents, best friends' relationships destroyed because boundaries weren't clear from the beginning. I'm a little past the beginning. Better late than never. She slides a document across the table. Standard lease agreement. Month to month, 30 days notice to vacate. All utilities included in rent. My eyes skim the legal language clauses about damages, prohibited activities, grounds for eviction. I need this to be by the book, I say quietly. Maria's gentle warning comes with a squeeze of my hand. She won't take this well, Camille. The first of the month arrives with deceptive calm. I schedule the email to deliver at noon, when Brooke is surely at lunch with colleagues. Subject line: lease agreement, urgent action required. By evening, the house vibrates with tension. I sit cross-legged on my bed, door firmly closed, reading the same paragraph in my novel for the 8th time. The slam of the front door announces Brooke's return. Footsteps thunder down the hallway. My bedroom door bursts open without a knock. You're seriously evicting your own sister? Brooke's face flushes crimson, phone clutched in her trembling hand. The lease agreement glows on the screen. It's not an eviction notice, I say, marking my place in the book. It's a lease. You're welcome to stay if you pay rent. $950? That's insane. It's below market rate for this neighborhood, I checked. She paces the small space between my bed and dresser. I can't believe you'd do this to me. To family. The word family slices through me, but I keep my voice steady. If you don't sign the lease and pay the deposit by Sunday, you'll get a 10-day notice. And after that, I'll file for eviction. Brooke storms out. My phone buzzes almost immediately. Aunt Valerie. I hear World War I/II has officially begun, she says when I answer. News travels fast. Brooke called your father. Your father called me to talk some sense into you. Valerie's sigh carries years of family dynamics. And will you? I ask, suddenly uncertain. Talk sense into you? Honey, you're the only one making sense. She pauses. This isn't the first time she's done this. My breath catches. What do you mean? Before she came to you, she stayed with your cousin Rachel for 8 months. Before that, with your Uncle Jim for almost a year. Same story each time, just getting back on her feet. The revelation settles over me. I wasn't special, just the latest target, the longest-lasting one. You're doing the right thing, Aunt Valerie says into my silence. Someone had to break the cycle. As I hang up, I realize my hands have stopped shaking. The cafeteria buzzes with the typical hospital lunch rush, but I've claimed my corner table near the window. A turkey sandwich sits half-eaten beside my notepad where I'm jotting down patient follow-ups. My phone vibrates against the metal table, the sound sharp enough to make me jump. Unknown number. My thumb hovers over the decline button, but something tuition maybe makes me answer instead. The text appears without preamble. You should see what Brooke's been saying about you. I thought you should know. My throat tightens. Attached are multiple screenshot images, thumbnails too small to read. Everything okay, Camille? Dr. Reeves asks, pausing at my table with his coffee. Fine. The word comes out strained. Just work stuff. He nods and moves on. I tap the first screenshot, time slowing as it loads. A group chat. Names I recognize: Brooke Mason, 2 of Brooke's friends from college. Dates spanning back 19 months. My hands tremble as I scroll, words leaping from the screen and burrowing under my skin. Brooke. Sis thinks she's helping me, but she's really just my mommy sponsor. 19 reactions, laughing emojis. Mason. She's still buying that just until I get back on my feet line? Brooke. Totally. Meanwhile, I just got approved for that Amex Platinum. Don't tell St. Camille. More scrolling. More screenshots. My chest constricts. A photo of Brooke lounging on my couch, glass of wine in hand. Home alone again. Camille's pulling another double shift while I binge watch her Netflix and drink her fancy wine. Another photo, Brooke wearing my mother's pearl earrings. Borrowed these from Camille's jewelry box. She never wears them anyway. My mother's pearls. The ones I keep wrapped in her handkerchief. I scroll faster now, each message a fresh cut. Brooke. Just told Camille I can't afford to chip in for groceries this month. Allie. Seriously? After that shopping spree you posted? Brooke. She never checks my Insta. Besides, I'm booking Bahamas next week. Need to save somewhere. The last screenshot. Dated yesterday. Brooke. Camille's getting weird about money lately. Might need to amp up the sad sister routine. Think crying would work? Mason. Works every time with her. She's such a pushover. Brooke. That's why I love her. The sandwich turns to sawdust in my mouth. I lock my phone, slide it into my pocket, and walk woodenly to the bathroom. Inside a stall, I press my forehead against the cool metal door and breathe. Deep breaths that do nothing to stop the burning behind my eyes. 2 years. 2 years of mockery shared among friends while I worked double shifts, bought groceries, paid the mortgage. 2 years of, I'm getting back on my feet, while my little sister lounged in my home, wore my mother's jewelry, and laughed at my expense. By 4:30, I've made my decision. The office printer hums, spitting out each screenshot in vivid color. I slide them into a manila folder and clock out 10 minutes early. At home, I arrange them in chronological order across the kitchen table. The evidence of betrayal forms a Timelinea museum exhibit of my foolishness. I place a clean mug beside them, Fill the coffee maker with Brooke's favorite hazelnut blend. Set it to brew, but don't turn it on. The front door, usually locked, I leave unlatched. Then I drive across the street to the small park with the duck pond. From my car, I have a clear view of our driveway. The afternoon light turns golden, then dusky, as I wait. At 6:17, Brooke's car pulls in. Shopping bags dangle from her arm as she pushes through the front door. Through the living room window, I watch her silhouette freeze at the kitchen entrance. I give her 3 minutes before I cross the street. The front door opens silently under my hand. Brooke stands motionless at the kitchen table, one shopping bag puddled at her feet, the other still clutched in white-knuckled fingers. I made coffee, I say quietly, moving to the machine and pressing the brew button. Thought we might need to talk. Camille. Her voice cracks. Where did you get these? Does it matter? The coffee maker gurgles between us. These are private conversations. Someone is clearly trying to cause trouble. Are they lies? I ask, the calmness in my voice surprising even me. Brooke's mouth opens and closes. She drops the second shopping bag, designer logos tumbling against each other. You don't understand. It's just jokes. It doesn't mean anything. We were just blowing off steam. For 2 years? You're overreacting. This is completely. You're wearing mom's pearls in that picture. My finger taps the photo. The ones you know I save for special occasions. The ones you told me last Christmas you'd never touch because they meant too much to me. Her hand flies to her neck, where the pearls were in the photo. You could have just thanked me instead, I say. Something shifts in Brooke's eyes. The mask falls away. Her chin lifts, defensive posture becoming offensive. Thanked you? For what exactly? For playing the martyr every single day? You've always wanted to be Saint Camille, haven't you? Always so responsible, so perfect. Well, congratulations. You got exactly what you wanted. Everyone thinking how wonderful you are for taking in your poor, helpless sister. I never saw you that way. Of course you did. Her voice rises. Poor Brooke can't keep a job, can't manage her money. Meanwhile, I'm making more than you. I just didn't see why I should waste it on rent when you were so desperate to help. Each word confirms what the screenshots revealed, not just exploitation, but resentment. My steadiness infuriates her more than any reaction could. You resented me for helping you? The question comes out soft, genuinely puzzled. I resented you for acting like you're better than me, for thinking I needed your charity. I never thought. Save it. She snatches her phone from her purse. I'm calling Dad. I don't stop her. She puts it on speaker, pacing the kitchen floor. Daddy? Camille's lost it. She's throwing me out. Dad's voice crackles through the speaker. What happened? She found out about the jokes. Someone sent her screenshots. A heavy sigh from my father. I told you to be more careful about what you text, Brookie. Not, I told you not to mock your sister. Not, I told you to be grateful. Be more careful. Just smooth it over until you find another place, he continues. You know how sensitive Camille can be. Brooke's eyes meet mine over the phone, a flash of triumph in them. You had 2 years to treat me with respect, I say, loud enough for Dad to hear. You chose jokes instead. I reach over and end the call. And in the sudden silence of our kitchen, surrounded by evidence of my sister's betrayal and my father's complicity, I realize that family isn't what I thought it was. Not anymore. Brooke's bedroom door remains locked all morning. No shuffling footsteps, no running water, not even the familiar ping of her phone notifications breaking the silence. I press my ear against the wood once, then feel ridiculous. This isn't high school. I brew my coffee and settle at the kitchen table with my laptop, the spreadsheet of household expenses open beside me. The numbers don't. Utilities doubled since Brooke moved in. Groceries tripled, not to mention the replacement costs for things that mysteriously broke or disappeared. By afternoon, Brooke emerges as if nothing happened. Her hair freshly washed, makeup perfect, wearing the cream sweater she borrowed from my closet last month. Hey, she says, voice carefully casual. Making a sandwich, want one? I shake my head, watching as she pulls ingredients from the refrigerator I stocked last weekend. We should talk about the lease, I say. She slices tomatoes with precise movements. I've been thinking about that. Maybe I could help with groceries sometimes. She glances up with a practiced smile. That seems fair, right? The lease states $950 per month due on the 1st. The knife pauses mid-slice. Come on, Cam. After everything that's happened, you can't seriously expect me to. I'm not discussing this again. Her eyes fill with tears too quickly, too perfectly placed to spill without smudging her mascara. She's used this expression since we were kids, the one that made Dad rush to fix whatever troubled his baby girl. I thought you cared about me, she whispers. The words that once would have sent me scrambling to reassure her now bounce off something solid inside me. I do care. That's why I'm no longer enabling you. She abandons the half-made sandwich and retreats to her room. The door closes with careful restraint, the kind that takes more effort than slamming it. My phone buzzes an hour later. Dad's number. 3 hours after that, headlights sweep across my living room wall. The crunch of tires on my gravel driveway, a car door slamming with more force than necessary. I'm already standing when the doorbell rings. Dad fills the doorway, still in his work clothes, lines etched deep around his mouth. He doesn't move to hug me. Where's your sister? He asks, stepping past me into the entryway. Hello to you too, Dad. He remains standing, refusing my gesture toward the couch. His eyes scan the living room, the same inspection he gave my college apartments, looking for flaws. This has gone far enough, Camille. What has? You know what? His jaw tightens. Brooke called me in tears. A lease agreement? An eviction threat? Your sister's family. This isn't how we treat family. Something clicks inside me, the final tumbler in a lock falling into place. Is mocking me behind my back how family treats each other? He shifts his weight, eyes darting toward Brooke's closed door. Girls have their little jokes. Did you laugh when she told you I was too soft to ever kick her out? A muscle jumps in his cheek. You've always been overly sensitive. The certainty washes over McCool, clarifying. Dad will not my side. Not against Brooke. Not even with video evidence. I think you should go, I say. Not until you fix this. There's nothing to fix. He stares at me like I've grown a second head. She's your sister. Yes, I nod. And I'm your daughter. The words hang between us. He blinks first, turns, and leaves without another word. The next morning, I call a locksmith while Brooke is at yoga. Maria sits at my kitchen table, real estate contracts and camera equipment spread before her. This system connects to your phone, she explains, untangling cords. Motion activated, cloud storage. Are the cameras really necessary? My stomach knots at what this has become. Maria meets my eyes. You're not dealing with the sister you grew up with anymore. You're dealing with someone who sees you as an obstacle. The locksmith finishes in less than an hour. I hand over my credit card, ignoring the twist of guilt. Change your banking passwords too, Maria advises, and check your credit report. I spend the afternoon photographing valuables Mom's jewelry, my laptop, the silver serving pieces Aunt Valerie gave me when I bought the house. I catalog everything in a spreadsheet, storing it alongside the video evidence. My phone buzzes with Aunt Valerie's text. Landed. Be there in 30. She arrives as the technician finishes installing the last camera, rolling her suitcase into the guest room that will be hers for the next week. Her silver hair catches the afternoon light as she unpacks with brisk efficiency. The social media storm started an hour ago, she says, passing me her phone. Brooke's Instagram post shows her red-rimmed eyes, a carefully composed selfie with my house in the background. When your own sister throws you out with nowhere to go, family betrayal, homeless. The comments flood with sympathy. The message notifications on my own phone blink urgent like cousins, distant relatives, mutual friends demanding explanations. She's edited screenshots of your texts, Aunt Valerie continues, scrolling through her feed, quite creative with what she's deleted. My chest tightens. Should I respond? Tell my side? Aunt Valerie hands me a glass of water. What would your mother say? The memory of Mom's voice flows through me. The truth doesn't need defending, Camille. It just needs time. She'd tell me to stay quiet. Aunt Valerie nods. Dignity before anger. I compose a single text to send to those few who matter. I appreciate your concern. The truth doesn't need defending. Then I silence my phone and help Aunt Valerie make dinner. We eat on the back porch, watching cardinals flit between the oak branches as the sunset paints everything gold. The storm will pass, she says, refilling our glasses. They always do. How do you know? She smiles, the lines around her eyes deepening. Because real strength doesn't need an audience, sweetheart. The chirp of a cardinal punctuates her words like agreement. For the first time in days, my shoulders drop away from my ears. The key turns in the new deadbolt with a satisfying click. Aunt Valerie settles at my kitchen table, a mug of Earl Grey warming her hands. Her silver hair catches the morning light as she nods toward the window. She'll be here soon, she says. My stomach tightens, but my voice stays steady. I know. The kitchen stands spotless, everything in its place, nothing left to chance. A folder containing Brooke's lease agreement, bank statements, and property documentation waits on the counter. Evidence. Protection. Tires crunch on the gravel driveway. Car door slams. Footsteps approach hurried, angry. The doorknob rattles, followed by the sound of a key scraping uselessly against new tumblers. 3 sharp knocks, then pounding. Camille, open this door right now. I meet Aunt Valerie's eyes. She gives a single nod. When I open the door, Brooke's fist hangs midair. Her makeup can't hide the dark circles under her eyes, the flush of anger creeping up her neck. You changed the locks? She pushes past me into the entryway. You can't lock me out of my own home. The words land like stones between us. 2 years ago, they might have worked at me backpedaling with apologies. Not anymore. My home, I correct her, voice quiet but firm, with clear documentation. I gesture toward the kitchen where Aunt Valerie waits, all legally binding. Brooke spots Aunt Valerie and freezes. What's she doing here? Moral support, Valerie says, sipping her tea. This is ridiculous. Brooke pulls out her phone. I'm calling the police. You can't just lock someone out of their residence. Go ahead, Aunt Valerie says, setting down her mug. I'm sure they'll be interested in reviewing your lease agreement, the one you never signed. She pauses. Or maybe the homeowner's deed with Camille's name on it. Brooke's finger hovers over her phone. I watch realization dawn across her face as she has no legal standing here. Her grip tightens around her phone until her knuckles whiten. Then, like flipping a switch, her entire demeanor changes. Camille. Her voice softens, eyes suddenly brimming with tears. After everything we've been through as sisters. She takes a step forward. Remember when Mom was sick? How we promised to always be there for each other? I stay rooted in place. The memory flashes toward teenage girls huddled in a hospital corridor, making promises neither fully understood. Remember our water gun fights in the living room? She smiles through her tears. And how Dad made us clean the carpet for hours? That's exactly why this hurts so much. I say, the steadiness in my voice surprising me. Because we were sisters. Because I thought that meant something to you. Her smile falters. The tears recede like a tide going out. Fine. She crosses her arms. I'll pay half the rent. Is that what you want? Will that make you happy? This isn't about money anymore. Her shoulders sag, defeat finally settling in. So what now? You pack your things. Today. The spare bedroom, Brooke's room, transforms into a whirlwind of activity. Clothes fly from hangers. Dresser drawers empty onto the bed. Aunt Valerie leans against the door frame, arms crossed, watching every move. I stand in the hallway, surveying the chaos. The difference between our lives lays bare in this moment, Brooke's mountain of possessions spilling from every corner, while my own bedroom contains just what I need and nothing more. Is this yours? Valerie asks, holding up a blue cashmere sweater. My sweater, the one that disappeared from my closet last winter. Yes, I say. Valerie sets it aside without comment, adding it to a small pile of reclaimed items, me mother's silver picture frame, 2 hardcover books, a ceramic mug from my trip to Santa Fe. Brooke doesn't protest. She doesn't look up at all. The silence thickens as boxes fill and are carried out. Each thump of cardboard against cardboard feels like a period at the end of a sentence I never wanted to write. From my bedroom window, I watch Brooke's friend Mason load the last box into his truck. Brooke stands in the driveway, sunglasses hiding her eyes despite the cloudy day. She doesn't look back at the house, doesn't wave, doesn't acknowledge me watching. A single tear slips down my cheek. I let it fall. My phone buzzes 10 minutes after they drive away. I'm out. Good luck, Camille. No apology. No acknowledgement of what she'd done. Not even a goodbye in person after sharing my home for 2.5 years. Tomorrow, I'll change my phone number. Tonight, I block her on every social media account. The letter to Dad explaining my decision to step back from both of them sits sealed in an envelope on my desk, ready to mail. That evening, I walk through each room of my house. The quiet wraps around me strange at first, then gradually comforting. In the kitchen, bare countertops gleam. The living room looks bigger somehow. The spare bedroom sits empty, stripped of all traces of my sister. Looks better already, Aunt Valerie says, joining me in the hallway. So why does it still feel weird? The question comes out smaller than I intended. Valerie's hand finds my shoulder, her grip firm and steady. Because she's your sister, she says. But that doesn't mean she was good for you. I nod, letting the truth of those words settle into the spaces Brooke left behind. Sage green walls brighten my living room now. The October sunlight streams through windows no longer blocked by Brooke's collection of throw pillows. 6 months, and the house finally feels like mine again. Past the bruschetta, Maria reaches across my new oak dining table, the old one sold after too many memories sank into its grain. I slide the platter toward her, watching my friends pass dishes and swap stories. No undercurrents here, no hidden meanings. Just the gentle rhythm of people who want nothing from me except my company. This room looks twice as big, Aunt Valerie says, glancing around. Amazing what happens when you don't have someone else's life spilling everywhere. The spare bedroom stands transformed too. Gone are the makeshift closet racks and piles of Brooke's overflow. My reading nook breeds a single armchair, a lamp, and shelves of books I'd kept in boxes for years. Camille? A tap on my shoulder. Got a minute? Jenny from Work 24 and wide-eyed follows me to the kitchen. She twists her napkin while I refill the water pitcher. My brother lost his job, she whispers. He wants to move in just until he finds something. But it's been 3 weeks and he hasn't sent out a single application. I set the pitcher down. 6 months ago, I'd have offered reassurances about families sticking together. Now I see the worry lines forming between her eyebrows. The kindest thing I did, I tell her, was recognize when kindness became enabling. But he's family, she says, the eternal excuse, which means he deserves your honesty more than your spare room. Later, when everyone's gone, I flip through my journal. Early entries bleed with hurt ink pressed too hard against paper. Later pages breathe easier. A line from last month jumps out. Family, those who celebrate your joy, not just share your name. My phone dings. I check the notification without the stomach clench that once accompanied every alert. Just a reminder about Thursday dinner with the group. The weekly tradition started as accident and solidified into healing. We take turns hosting different houses, but the same honest conversation. 3 weeks later, I straighten my scarf in Aunt Valerie's hallway mirror. Thanksgiving crackles with tension even before I enter her dining room. Camille. Dad rises halfway from his chair, a gesture of respect that surprises us both. Brooke doesn't stand. Her gaze skims over me, landing somewhere past my left shoulder. Aunt Valerie squeezes my arm and whispers, "You're doing fine." Dad tries twice during dinner to manufacture reconciliation. "Remember when you girls put food coloring in the mashed potatoes? And your mother always loved seeing you two together." I pass the cranberry sauce. Answer questions about work, compliment the turkey. But when Brooke asks if I'm still in that little house, I look her directly in the eyes. Yes, it fits me perfectly now. The space between us spans more than the table's width. But the distance brings relief. Instead of pain, a clean break, healed stronger than the original bone. To boundaries, Pauline raises her glass Thursday night. My chosen family crowds around a table that never knew Brooke's laughter or my father's judgments. Aunt Valerie has found her place here too, between Maria and Rick. She brings deviled eggs and straight talk, both appreciated equally. When did you know you'd be okay? Asks Jenny, who finally told her brother no. The question hangs. A year ago, I'd have rushed to fill the silence. Now I let it breathe. The day I realized, I say finally, that self-respect isn't selfishness. Late evening, and I sit alone with a glass of Cabernet. My reflection in the window looks back, a woman I'm still getting to know. The shadows under her eyes have faded. She holds her shoulders differently. On the side table, Brooke's letter sits unopened. 3 days now, and I haven't felt ready. Not because I fear what's inside, but because I know it can't change what matters. I trace the envelope's edge. I'll read it someday, when curiosity outweighs indifference. For now, I sip my wine and nod at my reflection. I'm not the fool she thought I was. Not anymore.